very near future about products, about hormone health, about the company, this is the spot for that. What I want to make sure, though, is that everybody turns on their captions if they're not a native English speaker. We want to make sure everybody can understand this. So, Irene, do you want to, or Cheney, do you want to unmute and explain to some of our audience, please, how to turn on their auto captions?
好的，大家好，大家早上好。我们如果不是英语母语的，小伙伴可以在右下角这边打开这个显示字幕，可以切换到一个字幕的一个状态，显示字幕。如果大家能看懂，可以给我扣一波111吗？
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, Alexi, we're going to dive in here. So I was just told something really amazing. You know, we're going to have so many people on this live. People are hopping in right now. But I was just told that this live is actually being broadcast to a lot of our international audience in your markets, to thousands of people, which is amazing. We did up our limit here because we knew we were going to have a ton of people, but it's really cool to see that this live tonight is going to reach thousands and thousands of people. Now, let's get started. I want to first introduce our guest tonight, if you will. He's somebody who obviously you love, but to take care of that, we have our founder, formulator, and CEO, Alexi Goldstein, on with us tonight. Alexi, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm extremely excited about this session right here. Extremely excited about seeing every face I'm looking at right now. Thank you, Brian.
Love it. My name is Brian Cameron. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian Cameron, Vice President of Marketing here at New You Life. We do want to welcome all of our New You Life family, our members. We also want to welcome those of you who are not part of New You Life right now. You're coming to just check it out. You're coming to see what we're all about. I'm glad you're here. I know Alexi's glad you're here. Tonight is a special night because we're going to be talking about hormone health and why now is the time. So to start off, Alexi, I'm going to start off with actually a question. I have some stuff here I want to go through, but just to start off with a really simple question for you. When did you start in hormone health?
Late 1990, probably 1996 to 1998 was when I started being interested in the category, and I was no way near as big or well known as it is today.
Yeah, and that is for sure. It's gone through so many changes, so many iterations. It's something that we call a living science, and we're going to explain a little bit about that tonight as well. Now, I do want to start out with the simple truth about hormones, and that is that you're not just naturally tired. You're not just naturally moody. You don't just randomly gain weight as you get older. These are signs and symptoms of imbalanced hormones. And that is our mission as a company, is to set out to educate everyone on what's going on in their body. Alexi, and this stems from Alexi. This comes from him. It's his directive, but to educate and empower people to achieve optimal health and hormone balance. So, there's some statistics that we'll bring up here tonight that are fairly staggering. I think they're very, very surprising. Just let's start off with a couple of them, and then Alexi, I want to have you react to some of these statistics. I know you've heard quite a few of them, but I would love to hear your reaction right here on the outset. So to know your hormones, they start declining at 25, and by age 50, you may have lost nearly 50% of your natural hormone production. 80% of women 35 and older report symptoms of hormone imbalance, but never get help. I think there's another statistic. I think it's 90+% of people have not been educated about hormones in school growing up. 1 in 4 men over 30 have low testosterone. Sleep, mood, energy, metabolism, libido, skin, weight, those are all regulated by hormones. Your body produces over 50 hormones. And then by 2030, hormone-related health issues are expected to be in the top 5 concerns globally. So Alexi, what stands out to you as we kind of dive into this discussion tonight about why now is the time to address hormone health?
It is extremely important, as you're speaking of some of the statistics. of what's happening around us today to realize and recognize that this touches us. This touches our everyday lives. And actually, Brian, you've been extremely generous in the predictions and statistics, because these are the statistics that people have been building up for the last 5 years. Today's statistics and what's going to be registering for the next 5 years is way scarier. So you're being extremely generous in those numbers. As I'm studying current numbers right now, and it's a lot scarier than what you're talking about. For example, 25 years of age or towards the late 20s, when people's hormones start declining, specifically important hormones that regulate everyday living. The truth is that because of overutilization of hormone disruptors in our food and our environment, those numbers are staggering, are going lower, actually, believe it or not. That means people in their low 20s are actually having issues with diminished certain hormones levels in their body, which is tragic, really, with what's happening. So I think today's conversation, today's discussion, today's education is extremely important for you guys to be aware that this is not just coincidence that New Your Life is here today to create education and awareness about what you guys should be focusing on moving forward, and teaching people around you and people that you love about how important hormone health and hormone balance and hormone homeostasis and taking care of all hormone levels, and how can we improve everyday health based on this. I can tell you, Brian, I can pick on every one of the subjects you spoke and tell you that it's rapidly declining to a worse number. But I think I said enough in terms of creating enough awareness out there. 30 plus years ago, when I started looking into this, the numbers weren't nearly as bad as they are today. And what I've seen over the last close to 30 years is that it's here. It's really important for you to actually recognize it and learn about hormones and take control of your own health. Because you know what? We're not here to scare you. We're here to tell you that there are solutions that are actually quite simple. All you need to do is learn what's the cause and effect. What's the underlying cause? Not just put a masking tape over an issue and create a true solution for long term. Hopefully that makes sense to a lot of you guys. And I'm excited about today and the education and the awareness.
Love it. We're going to dive into some very specific things here very, very shortly. But just as you were saying, it is a little bit more dire than people really consider. You are exposed to hundreds of chemicals. When you think about it, hundreds of hormone disrupting chemicals every single day. And we'll talk a little bit about what some of those hormones are, what they do for your body, and why they're important. My ultimate hope for this live is that everyone listens to what Alexi's talking about, and that you leave empowered to take that message to those around you. This is it is emergent, it's urgent, it's important, and that's the mission of our company, is to make sure that we are a force for change and a force for good to bring about that change. So, Alexi, let me ask you this. We have a lot of people on here who are aging. I'm aging. I'm one of them. We have a lot of people on here who know people who are aging, and a lot of us have experienced signs and symptoms of aging because of hormones. So first question for you is, what are some of the most common symptoms that people are experiencing but are likely ignoring when it comes to their hormone health?
Many. I could go over a long list, but I'm going to try to point out the most important ones, Brian. Let's talk about stress is a major one, and how you deal with stress and what it does to the body. High cortisol levels. Cortisol is good. Too much cortisol is not so good. Let's talk about sleeping. The amounts of sleep, how many hours of sleep you get in, is extremely important. Actually, what's more important is the type and the level of how deep of sleep you can actually receive on a nightly basis, daily basis, for you to be able to feel optimal. Energy decline is massive. Have you felt that you have to work harder than you did before to achieve the same results that you hardly had to put any input for in your past? Don't give up.
Don't ask that question, because I literally gave a training on our products this morning to some of our US field, and I talked just about that. It's so much harder to achieve what I used to achieve.
Correct. And I've been playing with this personally as well. It is harder to be disciplined without specific hormones not being optimal like they used to be, where it's easier back years before when you enjoyed more youthful amounts of hormones that you have to fight harder to lose inches, to lose fat, and to sustain proper amount of energy throughout the day. Where your days were short, you don't know what to do because you have so much energy all day and you're so active, and then you can eat so much more and you're still skinnier. So those are just a handful of the key important things that you feel every single day. When you go to work, you have to have energy, you have to be fast and competitive and aggressive, you have to be on top of your game, you have to be mentally engaged. You have to be mentally completely engaged. So mental acuity and focus and concentration is another thing that's usually is easier when you're younger because of specific types and kinds of hormones in your body that help you get there faster. So recovery, right? You're active, you're happy, you're excited, you're working, you're training, you wake up the second day and you can do exactly the same thing. As you get older, you find out that you need to sleep more the second day. You can't do the same thing twice. You have to rest and have more time in between to be able to recover. Those are just a few of the key things, Brian, and everybody that haunt us every day. Some of the things that you don't think about is your immune system, recovery from disease. You don't think about that. When I was young, I could get anything and I could recover. My immune system so strong. Another thing you don't think about, hey, I fell down when I was 15 years old and I broke my bone. And in less than 2 weeks, it was healed and I was back. Now I'm 40, I'm 50, and this happened to me and my bone is not healing properly because of lack of specific hormones and existing of specific disruptors. So, this is just a few, again, that people will understand, that will hear and deal and face on a daily basis as hormone levels decline.
So, Alexi, you talked a lot about a lot of things there. And symptomatically, you look at fatigue. Who on here is feeling that fatigue? Is that kind of what you're getting at? Is that recovery the next day? You just feel fatigue. You don't know why. Maybe brain fog as well, mood swings. There's so many things. I love what you said there because I think, you said a few things that I've never considered even for me, and I'm very plugged into life balanced and hormone health here at New You Life. Your immune system is incredibly important. Now, I want to talk about, not sure why whiteboard popped up there. I want to talk about the urgency behind this. So for just a second, we've been doing this we're almost 7 years, right? Almost in our 8th year, as a company, formally as a company. And during that time, I have seen so many people, mainly in the last year, start to talk about hormones. And most of the time, it's a slight switch in messaging, where they used to say, we have clean ingredients, no phthalates, we have no MSG, or whatever they're saying. Now they say, we don't have hormone disruptors, but they never changed their formula. I see that all the time. But like you said, you've been doing this since the late 90s. You've known about this for a long time. So let me ask you the question, why is this so urgent now to really dive in and take these issues head on and start to talk to people about it?
Man, I wish I can hold everybody by the shoulders and shake them stronger to make them wake up and let them realize how important this is. This is your life. This is your life. It's the quality, not the quantity. Science is continuously evolving, and a lot of the industry and the wellness area hasn't really adapted and evolved to the newest technology on how do we improve our hormone levels How do we educate and create awareness on specific hormones and how they affect specific organs, and how the body function and how it relates to hormones all over every cell in your body, from brain, head to your toes, and every action in your body. What's really cool and what's really impressive is the evolution of science in the last 3 decades. That, I'm going to tell you something really funny today. I had a really good conversation with my new friend. Her name is Gemini. Okay, it was one of the new AI friends, and I was like, wanted to see what is out there on hormone health. And I started asking Gemini, what is HGH? Is it good for you? And questions like this. And Brian, the awareness is there, but the investment that New Life is doing in producing a high level product and education that matches the science and technology to improve people's health is unmatched. And this is what's going to stand out here. You have to be up to date and base your product and your education on current science. And blissfully and luckily, this opportunity doesn't come around that often. Hormone health is going to change the world. Hormone health awareness is going to change medicine, is going to change how you age. It's literally going to decode so much on how you prevent certain ailments and how fast you recover. And it's a major, major part in human evolution, from how you think to how fast you sprint and how you blink and your confidence and everything else. So matching science, evolution, technology with what's up there, with products that not only service this, we also educate about the awareness about that, is I can comfortably say, with what I've seen around being in the industry for decades, New Life is the only company that will do that will support you and that will keep you aware, educated about what hormone plays what role in your life, and how does a specific product differ from what the generic products that are out there, and how they augment your everyday life and support specific hormone health or prevent certain disruptors from doing damage.
My goodness, you basically just dove into our SomaTech proprietary science. We'll get into that here in just a little bit when we talk about, we'll talk about SomaDerm, our trusty friend, which I actually have a few things to give away tonight in a box right here. So we'll draw some names later. SomaDerm's incredible. Alexi, one question that keeps coming to my mind is that I think about all of the HRT, hormone replacement therapy clinics that exist, and just how expensive that stuff is. That really is a luxury. However, my question for you is, why do you believe hormone health isn't just a luxury, but it is truly a necessity?
This is a great subject, and that can take a whole, maybe we'll talk about that matter in the next, what do you call it? This new
In focus
session. Okay, when you're doing TRTs, HRTs, IVs, immunotherapy, stem cell therapy, all of these new methods of helping your body recover are also related to hormone health. I'm not going to tell you what's good and what's bad, but before you do it and after you do it, it's all about hormone response. And without having a proper responsive endocrine system that can regulate and utilize specific hormones, your results are either not going to exist or they're going to be minimal. So even if you approach peptides and HRTs, TRTs, etc., as what I listed, it is imperative that you pay attention to your body and know what's happening. I don't mind what you do. I just want you to know what the outcome is, what the side effects are, and how it affects your hormone health, and how a healthy body and a healthy immune system and a healthy endocrine system responds to those methods that you're utilizing to improve your everyday health.
You say so much there. That's so powerful, especially when you're talking about just awareness. People don't know. And so my next question for you really leads into that awareness. And I say awareness because before I worked here, if you had said endocrine system, I don't know if I would have been able to tell you what that is. You know, the network of glands and the hormones that are produced and what they do in your body and why they're important. I would not have been able to say that. Okay, so here's my next question for you. What would you say to someone who says or thinks that hormone imbalance is only important and that it only happens in old age?
Mm-hmm. I would say you were right 100 years ago, or maybe 200 years ago. I would say this is it is really inaccurate, and I say you should study up on your science a little bit more, and then all the actual proof, and you're gonna know a lot of times, Brian. Everybody, when we're going through the transition, and when our body's changing from a growth and growth mode to a decline mode, you have that little period where you're like confused, right? Like, I want to go exercise to feel like I did before.
Yeah.
Well, what you did before didn't need exercise. Okay. Oh man, I need to drink coffee to stay awake so I'm able to focus. Guess what? Your adrenals were so effective and so efficient that you can stay up on your own and actually maybe not sleep and still function better the next day. Why? Because your thyroid is happy, your pituitary is happy. And this is where there's a lot of research. Like I said earlier, they've done studies in universities from San Francisco to New York to the whole globe on how hormone health relates to an everyday aging and how you feel. They've done university studies in New York where they determined that adrenal size and it related to how much energy you have and how you recover. They correlated that, like you said, which is beautiful, how the network of glands and organs that work together, when one of them fails, there's a reaction that happens that causes other glands to overwork. And when this happens, it throws off your system, and it takes away the harmony of your hormones, right? And throws things out of balance. And when we're older, unfortunately, our glands or organs have been functioning for 2.5 decades at least, right? And technically, your body can't keep growing forever. So what happens at that instance? It starts going the other way around. So it's important to be aware. And luckily, 25, 30 years ago, I wouldn't be able to be sitting here talking to all of you guys about the subject without massive, massive doubt. But today, in this day and age, every medical scientific institution have recognized how important hormone health is and gives you details on how hormones play a role and how they impact specific roles in your body. So there's so much science, and what's exciting is we haven't touched the surface yet, right? We haven't touched the surface yet, specifically about HGH, the mother of all hormone.
We'll get there.
Yeah, the one that's able to convert to anything that your body loses at that, early 20s now. It used to, when we started New Your Life, the science indicated that 25 to 27, 28 is the age when your body stops or starts declining. Now it's becoming less than 23. In a short 7.5 years, Brian and family, this number has changed by half a decade. So people are battling this quick aging process. And again, disruptors and diets and all of these play a big factor in this. And I'm sure we're going to elaborate a little bit more about this soon.
We are. So for the rest of the call, I mean, I still have so many questions about hormone health, but we're gonna kind of bridge this gap just because I know time is so short. I really wish we could do this for 3 hours. In fact, I know some of the people on here would like it if we did, but I know everyone's got busy lives. So let's right now. So you just talked about all these signs, symptoms of hormone health, how hormone health is affecting us at a younger age. Now let's talk about our philosophy at New You Life and SomaTech. What your product development philosophy, how would you explain that to somebody who's new here? And for those who are here, they can take what you're going to say and explain it to a new person so they can see what New You Life does for us. What's your product philosophy in relation to hormones?
So this is interesting. I'm going to speak specifically about SomaTech and why we developed that scientific delivery mechanism and how it's going to make a difference in your life, and how does it set itself apart from any other supplementation in the industry. And I'm not putting anybody down. There's some amazing things and products out there. Just what you asked me is specific, and we developed SomaTech and make sure we include it in every one of our products. What SomaTech does is it identifies and supports specific hormone pathways that aids in the repair and healing of that specific condition or organ. I hope that makes sense. I hope it's clear enough, but it's very simple, it's very brief, and straight to the point. We are bringing hormone support to all our products, not just our hero products. All your products should have something that supports proper hormone pathways or block specific disruptors that prevent the product from doing its job and take the product to another level in terms of effectivity. Again, there's other sessions where we can discuss this in a deeper way. I don't know how many questions Brian has for me this time, but that would take hours, and I would be more than happy and extremely excited to go into this and give you so many examples. I tell you one thing. I know I haven't felt like this for so long. Don't you want this to be every single day? This is where New Year Life's education and awareness and products are supposed to take you and will take you.
So, Alexi, I'm just going to take a quick tangent for a second. Do you remember the picture screenshot the other day that I sent you?
Yeah.
So I got a text from somebody the other day that said, hey, I need some more SomaDerm. I'd like to buy a bottle. And I said, have you been using it? They said, I love it. I feel a lot more like me when I was younger. I said, you need to be using more then. And they said, probably. I only use 1 pump a day. So half a pump in the morning, half a pump at night. And that is well below our usage instructions. I said, you should be doing 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And then they said, I'm going to try that. I guarantee I'll feel better. And that particular text message hit me because that person was my mom. And I feel a little bit of emotion when it comes to that because I grew up with this woman. She took care of me. And now she's 71 now. 71. And she's known about this for 6 years. And she finally just tried it like in the last 6 months. So big thank you to Alexi for that. But that's a very, very special testimonial to me because of somebody so close to me benefiting so much and frankly not knowing because of science advancing so much, not knowing about hormone imbalance. So I don't know if I could believe more in our mission than I do. And that just solidifies it for me. So Alexi, let's talk real quick. We're going to talk about SomaTech and SomaDerm specifically and HGH here in just a second. But how has modern life, like I just said with my mom, like she didn't even know, but how has our modern life that we're living in now changed when it comes to hormone health that makes hormone health so much more important?
Let me I'm not going to go so far back, Brian. I'm going to relate to our audience today. Okay. I'm going to ask everybody here a question. Mentally answer that question. If you've been here for the last, how long have we been around? 7.5 years in this company alone, right? Since we opened our doors to serve people all over the globe, back then, do you remember anybody ever mentioning or discussing or talking about hormone health? Ever? I don't think so. We were the only ones for sure discussing, educating, and working on this topic. Now, I'm going to move 7.5 years forward till this very day. Do you hear about hormone health from all the famous people, from all the famous scientists, medical institutions, from all science and all of these studies that are coming out, or from all the research? The difference is staggering. Every country and medical institution have actually acknowledged the importance of hormone health, the importance of HGH, the importance of knowing what hormones we need to support, what happens when specific hormones decline, And the biggest realization that's come up, and this is going to answer Brian's question, what are hormones disruptors? What is happening in our bodies? What's happening to our bodies today? Why didn't it happen a few years ago? And again, without making it scary and spooky to a lot of you guys, epigenetics and our environment and the changes we've done. I'll give you some examples. People that love to eat meat, okay? RBGH and RBST, two dangerous hormones that are synthetic, that disrupt proper chemical and hormone utilization in the body. They'll make you age faster, they'll make you get bigger, and they will prevent absorption and breakdown of specific hormones. Okay, that's just one little example. For people that are vegan or vegetarian, do you think you're safe? Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, and again, I don't ever know what you're about, but do you know what spray your vegetables and your fruits with for insects not to eat it? There's like 11 kinds of plastics and heavy metals that are being sprayed on our vegetables and fruits every day. These things today, because everything's becoming fast-paced for the world to be competitive, we're not paying attention to the things that we put in our bodies. And you think you're doing well, but you're not. This is two. Number three, using plastic, reusing plastic, putting it in heat. And don't tell me you don't use plastic. I don't know what planet you live on, okay? They found out when newest research that there's half a teaspoon size of plastic in our brain right now in every country. You are not cleaner than anybody out there. So please wake up. I beg you, I urge you to wake up and recognize and realize that it's happening to us. The only difference is, are you gonna acknowledge and be aware, or are you gonna pay the price 50 years from now, or 20 years, or 10 years from now? Are you gonna educate your kids and your friends and your family about this, or are you gonna wait until everybody's sick to try to come back? Know Your Life is gonna give you the tools and the education to help you make the proper decision on where you want to go and how do you want to understand and how much you want to be involved in this category. And this is high level without giving you more scary information about hormone health in general. And literally, you guys, I'll give you some good news now because I don't want to leave you with bad news. So anti-aging decoded is going to be based on one thing: hormone homeostasis, proper healthy hormone levels. This is it. If you can balance your hormones, you can support and regulate specific hormones functioning and working at certain times, you can actually optimize the functionalities of your body and recover the youth times and how you felt back then.
Alexi, I love that. I actually just dropped in the chat here: balance your hormones, balance your life. Right. That's one of our taglines. Life balance is really our company tagline, who we are. Now, I know we're going to run short on time, so let's transition real quick into our approach. We'll talk about HGH and then SomaDerm. While I'm asking this first question, be thinking about what inspired you to start with HGH. So my first question, though, is about our approach, right? SomaTech, for all intents and purposes, it identifies ingredients. It's our development philosophy that identifies ingredients to support healthy hormone production, help to inhibit hormone disruptors, and enhance ingredient delivery. Right? We're talking a transdermal gel. That is so unique. Still doesn't really exist on the marketplace. So our approach is we're inviting your body to make a hormonal change, right? To balance itself. Other products oftentimes are forcing a change. Why is our approach better? Why is it more effective?
It's
another 3 hours we could spend on this.
I'm going to be quick. It's not that it's more effective, and it's not that it's better. It's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. Nobody's presented a competition to what we provide for you yet. Nobody understands and have invested in the science behind the doors that you don't need to bother with right now, that you will realize 2 decades from now that our products and our education is way ahead of the competition. Why? Because we started on this 25 years ago, and now is just being born out there. But you guys have the privilege of all of that hard work, and hey, almost 8 years in business utilizing it. And you know what's amazing to talk about is looking at some of the faces that have been here for 8 years, 7.5 years, before and after. Man, I swear to God, I cannot, like, some of these people, majority of these people look and feel, and they look younger now than they were at day one. This is the most beautiful story that I can hear. So yeah, you know, there'll be a lot of stuff coming in the future. I don't know when or where, but today we're not better. We're the only one. We're literally the only one. Some people might attempt utilizing marketing and advertising to ride the wave of hormone health, but they're not really doing the work on why certain ingredients are really put in the products. They're not doing the work on what's really related to what. Why should we enhance or support specific hormone?